We have officially been doing Playlog podcasts for a year now. So in this episode of Playlog, we're talking about our favorite parts of making a podcast and what we want to see in the future. Hey guys, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast we talk all things indie gaming. But of course, I can't talk indie games alone because that was super boring. So I've got my partner in crime, the Play Nice Kid themselves, Tofr. It's poppin', homie.
I am very excited to see what will arrive first. Silk Song or Spider-Verse, the last one.
Honestly, at this point, it's probably Silk Song.
I don't know.
Also, everybody watching at home, sorry, you just got like 7 Windows noises. My wireless controller just kept turning on and off for some reason, so I had to just unplug it. So I don't know how. And when I say wire, like the dongle is what I unplug. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Audio listener, what's wrong with my computer? Why is my phone making Windows noises? Yeah, dog. I don't know what event we had or what special moment they just announced a bunch of Spider-Man stuff. But like we got the name for the next, like I guess it's the next Tom Holland movie, Brand New Day or something like that, or you know, I forget what it is. I immediately was like, wait,
Brand New Day.
Okay, cool. I'm like, why has it got like the same like name as Captain America? I hope we just get Brand New Blank or you know, B word new whatever. But I was like, okay, interesting title, but we'll rock with it. At least we know we're getting another Spider-Man, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Verse.
The thing is, Brand New Day is based on a very, very unpopular run of comics.
Oh, okay.
So
I know nothing about this.
It's an interesting pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the comics, basically, Aunt May gets shot and dies. Mm-hmm. And Peter Parker, who at that moment in time is married to MJ, he's like, I this can't be happening. I can't allow this to happen. And then Mephisto shows up.
Oh,
and
finally.
He's like, I can bring her back if you give up your love you have, the love you share with Mary Jane.
Oh.
And he actually goes ahead with that deal.
Peter.
So all of a sudden, the comics were back in high school, and Peter was a teenager again.
Huh.
It was. Yeah, people were like, he would never make that deal. Never.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm out here wondering, like, because a lot of the things, I guess, spoilers for No Way Home, a lot of that's already happened. So interesting.
Maybe that's why they picked that title, but
yeah. You imagine all these like rumblings about Mephisto of like WandaVision. I haven't finished Agatha All Along, so I don't know for sure. But Agatha All Along, Mephisto is finally going to be here, and they're just like, hey, let's drop him in Spider-Man.
Who knows?
Who knows? But you were saying something.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because the Brand New Day happens because of Civil War. Because in the comics during Civil War, Spider-Man chooses to make his secret identity public,
right,
to support Tony Stark.
Yep.
And then he goes back on his decision and joins Captain America's side.
Right.
But because people know that he's Spider-Man, that's how Aunt May gets killed.
Huh. And it's so weird, right? Because like again, that is what has already happened. I guess like that's what we got in No Way Home. Weird. Okay. Yeah. This is one that like I'm excited to see like the new Rockstars like channel like break apart of like here's what exists and here's what we already know has happened. So like how will this matter in another like like and I guess you're supposed to have Gwen Stacy now with the new Spider-Man now with the MJ stuff, but I don't know what that looks like. So I don't know. I'm excited.
Who knows?
I like Spider-Man.
I mean, I do too, but I lack faith in Sony.
Do we know if this is all in Sony's hands? Is it still in the like Sony gets paid the majority for Marvel to do the heavy lifting, or I don't know how the contract anymore?
I don't really know.
All right, well we can hope and dream.
Yeah. But that's not indie games, Danny.
You're right, it's not. Although we should get a Spider-Man indie game. It'd be pretty lit, pretty dope. But
can you imagine?
Yeah, I'll be fucking lit, bro. However, listen, let them sleep. They don't get to do nothing. I forget what they're working on right now. Take a nap.
The Ninja Turtles game that's coming out in May.
They are doing that. Go finish that. Take a nap. See you next year. Don't do anything else. There's no stopping them. But real quick, before we get into some of the meaty stuff, let's do some housekeeping. And we got a little bit of a housekeeping here, so stick with me, team. Quick reminder, if you enjoy Fallout and TTRPGs, then boy, do I have the show for you. Sunday nights, we'll be streaming our new series, Fallout 313, run by the astonishing LB Hackemup. Fallout 313 is a role-playing adventure using the Modiphius system. I almost said Mephisto. The Modiphius system that's all about rolling out 1, but 2 D20s. I'm playing Finn, the super intelligent super mutant who's very gentle for his own good and just wants to sniff the flowers. I got to take that part out. We streamed from here a few weeks ago. We just had a few weeks off because of cons and internet stuff and blah, blah, blah. But we had our session 3 this past weekend, which should hopefully be up on YouTube in a couple days here by the time you guys are seeing this episode. I got to squish a goose because he kept poking me in the chest and he hurt me. And I got really mad about it. And the party loved it. They're like, no, my gentle giant got really mean.
Yeah.
So that was great. I put the clip on Blue Sky. If you haven't seen yet, follow us on Blue Sky. But yes, you can also check it out on YouTube a few days later if you can't watch it live, because it's later in the evening. A lot of you sleepy people over there, Belgium for sure. But we're live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/hackrecklessly. That's HACKRECKLESSLY. There's still 3 more sessions to go. And I'm nervous because I think we're heading to the super mutant part of the world where I'm smart super mutant. They're dumb super mutant. Now, how does Finn blend in with the dumb super mutants? Oh, we don't know. Yeah. We'll find out. But yes, great party. I'm having a good time. Nice. Another quick reminder, are you going to be in Boston for PAX East from May 8th to 11th? Well, so am I. I'll be attending PAX East again as a content creator, excited to play some games, talk to developers, and meet more internet friends. I will be all around the show floor throughout the weekend, as well as taking part in the Video Game Trivia Reloaded panel, hosted by Jacob McCourt. This guy just can't get enough of me. The panel also features the names of Dave Jackson from Tales of the Backlog, also last year's DS panel, Trina Smith from Gamerhead Podcast, Dan Colana, again, I apologize if I fucked your name up, aka Dan O'Mac, Lightweight Gaming from the Trophy Room Podcast, and Steve Saylor, the blind gamer himself. This panel will be Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will not be streamed, but Jacob is recording the whole thing, so it'll be up on YouTube a few days after the convention is over. So if you're at PAX and want to show me your game or just chat it up, come find me or I'll find you. So I kept it a little, yeah, you're right. Oh, scare him.
It works.
One more quick reminder as part of the podcast, we'll be doing our monthly book club. We go back and replay some indie classics or finally get around to some modern indies that we just haven't played yet. And for the month of April, we'll be playing Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Listen, this is the part where I drop the Steam description in and just read that. Here we go. The stage is set. Imagine an old Baroque manor, perhaps a hotel or a museum somewhere in the Central Europe. A woman wanders in search of answers. That's it. Play the game this month on Steam, Switch, or PlayStation. Then head over to our Reddit form in the description to give us your thoughts on Lorelei and the Laser Eyes for our April 30th episode of Playlog Podcast. Take note that is a Wednesday.
April 22nd episode.
Sorry, did we switch that? I had it on the 30th. I thought we pushed it back a day because I know you couldn't be there for the 29th, I think.
No, that's our episode after that. Because that episode would come out on May 1st. So that would make it
right. That's what we did. That's what we did. I put it on differently. Chat. Rewind the episode. Don't do that. 20 seconds. All right. Okay. Let's try that one again. So what I actually meant to say was that you can catch our live episode of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes on April 22nd on twitch.tv/CGDannyB. That's not a Wednesday. It's still a Tuesday. Don't worry about it. Schedules are hard. It's fine. Or you could just be normal and watch it on YouTube or audio services after the fact on Thursday. So yeah, it's cool.
You can be normal.
I know these hooligans don't like to sit around for long form when I'm there in person. It's like, I'm shy. I don't want to hang out here. No. Little nervous babies. It's fine. They're fine. But yeah, that's housekeeping. Ba-boom. Timestamp. Now we got a few quick indie news articles here. This is the one you throw on. I didn't get a chance to read it, so we're going in blind here. First headline here: Baldur's Gate 3 themed Stardew Valley mod hit with takedown by D&D owners. Update: it's back.
It's back. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, this is was updated 24 minutes ago. So as of us also, we're recording this on April Fool's, so we might be a little skeptical on things today. Just it's fine. But yeah, let me see here. Baldur's Village is a fan expansion that adds the characters from Dungeons & Dragons RPG Baldur's Gate 3 to the cozy pixel art farming sim Stardew Valley. The head of Larian Studios, which made Baldur's Gate 3, thought it was really cool, but Wizards of the Coast, who owns D&D license, did not so much. The tabletop game maker hit the fan mod with a takedown notice, and it's no longer available to download. Let's see. Created by Nexus mod user BV and uploaded on March 8th, Baldur's Village added over 20 characters from the 2023 Game of the Year winner to the farming sim, along with new locations, shops, special items, dynamic story events, and other content. Quote, so much love went into this amazing work. Larian CEO and Baldur's Gate 3 director, you say this is Sven? You say the W as a V here? Svensvik? You read the name.
What? I can't read that on my screen.
Svenvik. That one wrote at the time. But the fan match of the two beloved games is no longer available to download on Nexus. This mod is under moderation review, reads a disclaimer added to the page on March 29th. According to the spokesperson for the mod database, Wizards of the Coast was responsible for setting a DMCA takedown notice against the fan content for infringing on its ownership of Dungeons & Dragons, which Baldur's Gate 3 is based on. Then there's the tweet saying so, and I have to hit continue reading. I'm just gonna do the update. The Baldur's Village is back up on Nexus mods following the attention brought to the situation by Larian CEO. Hopefully it stays up this time and the temporary reprieve isn't another bad April Fool's joke. Also, I forgot to mention this one was from Ethan Gack over at Kotaku. So you like Stardew? Have you at all looked at the Baldur's Village mods or anything?
I have not, because I have never modded a game before.
Okay.
So I wouldn't even know how to do it.
Yeah.
But this one does pique my interest. These characters from Baldur's Gate are so iconic.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what they get up to within the world of Stardew.
Yeah. I think it looks really cute. I remember seeing this on one of the social medias a while back. I'm like, oh, it's such a fun thing. That's really cool. And I remember seeing Larian's on board. They're cool with it, so it's going to be fine. But I love my TTRPGs. I like playing D&D. I'm not super invested in Wizards as a company and what they're doing on the day-to-day. I know as of late, I often hear a lot of people Wizard making another bad decision, always fucking with the gamers. I'm like, oh, I didn't know what they did, but bad on them. So this seems like another one of those quick, just uh-oh, is that a Styrian in another game? I just pulled the guns out instantly, ready to fire. I'm like, well, that's a little aggressive, but I guess I get it. It is your IP, but also I don't know how it works for Larian. For Larian just to be like, yeah, fuck it, stop doing that. We said it's okay, and they're like, okay. Sure.
Would be cool if Larian had actually had the power to undo whatever Wizards wants to do.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Wizards is such a big company, and then Larian would be like, nah, stop it.
Hey, you're not going to do that, okay? I mean, I guess they did here, right? I assume, right? The CEO is like, hey, so we're cool with it, and it's just more, people play fucking Stardew? And you know how many more people will go play Baldur's Gate now if they've played it in Stardew? Like, okay, yeah, you're right. We should fix that. Oh, man. But yeah, no, I'm glad it's back. That was some... quick news. I'm like, oh no, I didn't even know this came out yet, let alone immediately got taken down and then went right back up. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I hope people are enjoying
it. Keep it up.
I don't mod things a lot. Jesus Christ, mostly just Lethal Company, and I want to look into doing some mods here for R.E.P.O. I think that'll be fun, but
yeah,
when there's time, when we think about it. But if you want to check out that Baldur's Gate mod for PC, go play some more Stardew. Timestamp, we move on to the next article. This one is from Theodore McKenzie over at 80 level. Okay, I was like, I don't know what your logo says. 80 level. Walter White Simulator, Schedule I becomes Steam's most popular indie game of 2025. Have you seen anything about this game yet?
I saw the article and I was like, is this actually news? But I didn't realize it was the most popular indie of the year.
I've seen people talk about it. I've seen no one that I know talk about it. So I'm very okay, let's see what this is. After seemingly appearing out of nowhere, Schedule I, a drug kingpin simulator created by solo dev TVGS, continues the 2024 trend of indie games giving AAA titles a run for their money, becoming the most popular indie game on Steam in 2025 and the world's second most popular game overall, surpassing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Avowed, and Split Fiction in peak player numbers. During its first week since launch on March 24th, Schedule I reached an astounding 414,000 peak players on Steam, surpassing R.E.P.O's 271,000 and becoming the platform's most popular indie game of the year so far. It also became the second best performing overall, only behind Monster Hunter Wilds with its 1.3 million peak concurrent users. Additionally, the Walter White simulator has entered the top 30 of Steam's best performing games of all time and has become the second best reviewed title on the largest PC gaming store of 2025, achieving a 96.06% positivity rating from 28,000 reviews and trailing Split Fiction's 96.17% with 38,000 reviews by just a few percentage points. I think it pretty much covers some more statistics about 2025.
Okay.
How you feeling about Schedule I? I think we both know like nothing about it, but like these are some numbers.
Yeah, but I don't get it. I don't get what people find so enticing about games about being a drug lord. But I guess I'm a minority when it comes to that because most gamers seem to love that.
Yeah.
Seeing the success of something like Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
I just don't understand. I am not the audience for this.
I think I need to fix. I think it's Schedule 1, not Schedule I. It just looked like an I in the title when I copied it, so I think it's Schedule 1. So apologies for anyone going, you said it wrong. That's my favorite game. Stop fucking it up. Yeah, this is the first I'm really watching the trailer. Like I said, I've seen clips on Blue Sky and people talking about it or Instagram, and I'm like, what an interesting looking game. And there's like, I see this board of picking like employees. I'm like, okay, this kind of has a Phasmo vibe to it, but also like not at all. But yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people being like, we don't have GTA 6 yet. It should be this year, but will it? We don't know. I guess let's play the next best thing. And for what I have to assume is an inexpensive like GTA knockoff that's got goofy visuals and everything, I could just see every kid in their life being like, Mom, please, I need to pick up this game. I want to play with my friends.
I guess.
And also it's $20. It's not even like a inexpensive indie. It's like a full priced indie. So
yeah, especially for an early access title.
Yeah. But hey, listen, people are loving it, dude. So pop off, team.
Good for them.
Yeah. I can't say I'm immediately like attracted to it myself. That is like something I want to jump into, but like I like hearing people are excited about it. I'm excited to see how many Game of the Year videos it's in come, the end of the year. Everyone's like, oh, dude, Schedule 1.
Ooh, interesting.
But hey, listen, we all like Breaking Bad, right? Good pick.
Never seen it.
Oh, Tofr, would recommend. What a ride.
I've heard so many good things about it, but it has too many seasons. And I do not have the attention span for it.
Yeah, I get it. Throw it on the background, play something else, and then be like, oh my God, what's Walter White doing? He is the one who knocks, Tofr.
That's true. You got to say his name.
And he appears. Sorry, I tried to do a Joe Hendry thing. It's a very separate conversation. But yeah, if you're interested in Schedule 1 because you're waiting for GTA, check it out. And now on to one that is probably definitely fake, but we're going to talk about it just in case it's real, but I don't think it is. It's April Fool's Day, guys. So the team over at Splash Team put out a trailer with their Netflix logo on it, essentially saying that Tinykin is going to be made into a movie with Elijah Wood starring as Milo, the main character. We're going to talk more about Tinykin later, a little bit for the indie spotlight. But anyone not familiar, it's one of those Pikmin-esque games where you're a tiny guy in normal size house. I love Tinykin. I think it's such a great game. I love the visual style. So when I saw this, I'm like, this is fake, right? And there's not been enough engagement on either Blue Sky or Tweet, like, to discern, like, how real is this? I need someone to be like, no, that clip of Elijah Wood is from, like, one of the Lord of the Rings or something, like some of the video. Like, okay, cool. Now I know it's fake, but I have no actual idea. And I have to assume it's fake, but just in case, that's exciting.
The thing is, the small part where you actually see Elijah Wood in the trailer
Yeah.
is like, it looks like it could have been made for like Cameo or something.
Exactly.
Where you just pay an actor to read a line.
Yeah. Or like
So,
when some game studio is like, we got this person involved in our game. Like I think it was at the Game Awards or something. There was something for Fortnite, and they had like The Rock, like, hey guys, Dwayne The Rock Johnson here, just like from his phone. I'm like, okay, you couldn't get the man to a studio. It's fine. I get it. I get it. But yeah. So again,
it's fun.
Grain of salt. I like Tinykin. I don't think it's real, but if it is, cool. But it's not. It's not real. I went to the wrong scene. It's just me. Hold on. It's okay. I don't know why I have a full screen button in this menu anyway. Guys, I said
Just when you need to be like zoomed in.
Yeah, exactly. When I just you're right, because I do the intro. I'm like, hey guys, it's just me. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hold on. I see you added another one that my login's incorrect. Humble, I can't see.
Basically, it's just the new Humble Choice bundle for April has arrived.
Okay.
And alongside the Tomb Raider remastered, it has Dredge and 1,000 Times Resist in there, which is
banger titles.
There's more good titles in there, but those two are like, either of those would be worth the price alone.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, Dredge is a banger. Absolutely. I love that game. I still haven't finished 1,000 Times Resist, but I've enjoyed it. I know when I was doing games. I've never played it, but I've heard great things about Nova Lands as well. I hesitate to be like Stardew, but farming sim, I think, with some more automation into it. Someone might have to fact check me on that one, but I like the visual style of that one a lot. I can't speak to any of the rest. I mean, Tomb Raider's Tomb Raider, so if you like Tomb Raider, it's there. But yeah. That's a good selection. I like those. I get on Humble more. I think what I've always wanted to do is get like the Humble bundles. I'm like, cool, I have this game already. I'll just put it on a list and do more giveaways on Twitch, and I just haven't done it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Tinykin fake news. But yeah, that's the quick indie news, everybody, which means we're on to the topic of the show. And in case you guys missed the title, it's our 1-year anniversary tomorrow as of this episode dropping, and 3 days ago as of recording, but you get the point. So for full context, after PAX last year, we started the podcast. We did our, hey, here's our PAX episode, which came out on March 27th. But our first episode, our Pepper Grinder review, came out on April 4th, which is Friday of this week. And we've been doing this for a year, which is weird to say out loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't feel like it's been that long. I'm like, fuck, it's been a whole year.
Absolutely doesn't.
Yeah. But yeah, we figured we just take the episode and just kind of talk about why we started the podcast, how it all went down, what our like the week looks like for putting the podcast together, our typical behind the scenes shit, and just one of those fun little shoot the shit and drink some tea moments of like, that's a podcast. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So then I guess I should start with why I wanted to start the podcast. Years back, I guess Playlog podcast has always kind of been a thing. It was just a very like, oh look, I finally have a friend who played the same game as me, and we should talk about it. And this was even before I had like the focus on indies. But like we had a Sifu episode that was me, Kanai, and our buddy Dante. We did a Resident Evil Village episode with Chris. We did a Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart episode with Connor. And it was like, cool, we both played this game. I'd love to talk about it. But it did end up less of a chore, but it was just like, hey, have you guys played this? Or like someone didn't beat a game as fast as I did, so we couldn't talk about it, or they wouldn't finish the game at all. So it became okay, so I really can't get an episode out of this one. That's fine. So it really just went on like the back burner for a while. Until we all did our Legends Arceus episode, which I'm like, cool, we ought to talk about like this new type of Pokemon game. And I always wanted to make Playlog an indie focused thing. It just, again, it was having the circle of people who didn't already have their own podcast or were doing other things all the time. Like, I just don't really have like someone for that slot. But for the longest time, I had a sticky note mounted on my screen. And I was like, I should have these people and see if they'd want to do a podcast. And Tofr, you were at the top of it, where I was just like, I talk to this guy on TikTok all the time, and I should hit them up. And then it was around PAX time. You had made a video You're like, hey guys, I guess maybe that's more of a you time. So you made a TikTok kind of talking about where you were with it. So I'll hand that one over to you.
I had been spending a couple of months making, I think, about 3 TikToks every week on indie games as Play Nice Kids. But the thing was, I was working 6 days a week back then. And I was making more videos than I was actually playing games.
Yeah.
just working 6 days and making 3 videos left basically no time to play anything. And that made me quite sad. So I made the tough decision to step back from my TikTok channel and be like, yeah, I my mental health needs me to take a break. But I would love to keep talking about indie games. And I think I mentioned it in the video. It was like, if you want to talk about them, reach out to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in that video, you're like, I'm not making you anymore, but you should check out this CGDannyB guy. He does them better than I do. Yeah. I'm like, no. I didn't get to email you. I didn't get to message you. Don't quit. Wait.
Yeah, but you were like my number one indie guy on TikTok.
Oh shucks. Oh shit.
That's true. Because you had like great. you have a style that I am still jealous of, where you are just you are so natural on camera, and you have such a good voice for it as well, and your passion for indie games just jumps off the screen. The editing on your videos is also on point all of the time, and yeah, I'm hoping one day I can make videos like you do, if I find the time for it. But yeah,
like that means a lot. As someone who will sometimes sit here for hours bumbling over lines multiple times, or I'm like, I need to script it out, or it won't come out the way like I envision everything, or I'll forget a thought and then I'll post it, be like, fuck, I didn't mention this one thing. While at the same time, like the ones where I want to just sit in front of the camera and go are me just rambling with so much dead air and footage. I'm like, fuck, I like, this is a headache to not get what I want. It's such a different vibe of we're on a podcast and I'm having a conversation with you about a game versus I'm having a conversation with a camera about a game, where it just doesn't sometimes doesn't hit the way I want it to. And that's a personal frustration that I'm like, I got to get better at this for these reasons. But yeah, I mean, went to college for media arts and animation. I've been editing videos since I was like 11, 12 with like Windows Movie Maker and making some old Pokemon videos and shit for YouTube. And I've always enjoyed the process of slapping stuff together, and like the moment I say this video comes up, or like the funny pause and then like, you know, very like modern YouTube memery, right? And I thoroughly enjoy doing those full-fledged reviews. I think they're great. I think they're fun. Those tend for me to be more of the, I got this key like a week or two, even a month in advance, so I have the time to play, record, script, edit, and do everything, and then drop it on embargo day. Whereas a lot of games, we get the keys 2-3 days, maybe a week before, where I'm like, that's not enough time for me to do all this. So it is great to capture footage, hop on here. And then this year I've been doing a heavier focus on it, but these last few weeks have been slacking. But it's like cool, this review that we did is buried in, you know, an hour, 2-hour episode of Playlog, which may not be the thumbnail thing, but we talked about, you know, R.E.P.O, or we talked about this game, or this, like, I think we talked about a social giraffe the other week, which I think I dropped a thumbstick because I'm fiddling with ADHD stuff. But like we posted that because I think it's like that video wouldn't have been seen in the episode unless someone went to watch the episode for, and I can't think which episode that was, like for that purpose, right? So I think having those breakouts is great. Because the video already exists, but now if someone's looking for that direct thing, they can find it. And it's a little less editing on my part because it's already taken stuff we've already done. We just had a conversation, and maybe it's cutting out the ums and uhs and everything else. But I think those videos are fun, and they help an audience find not just the channel and the podcast, but like the thing they're looking for from, you know, either you or I talking about a game. And that's a little bit further from the podcast part, but yeah, I think that's a great function that I found this last year specifically of like, cool, I want to do a podcast, and it helps me talk about more games with less production behind them. And that's probably my highlight.
I get it. Yeah.
So like when I had messaged you, right? Because then you were just like, I'm backing away from TikTok, go watch Danny. And I was like, hey, no, you just decided to take a break, but here's my idea. Like where were you at when you got that message? I don't know if we ever really, I mean, we talked briefly. I don't know if we ever really talked about that scenario.
I was a bit dumbfounded.
Uh-huh.
I was like, is this for real? Is this spam? Is this from his actual account? Because I like, to me, you were like this content creator who I looked up to, and I was like, that I couldn't imagine you wanting to actually do a podcast together. So I found it hard to believe at first, but then the moment it hit, like the first time we jumped onto a call, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. because I could talk about indie games as much as I wanted to, but and this might sound a bit harsh, but you do most of the work. Like you do the editing, you do all of the visual stuff. I just show up every Tuesday, and I just get to sit here and be like, oh man, indie games, right?
Yeah. Which like more true in the first, like, I don't know, 20-ish episodes or so, maybe more. I didn't keep track of them. But yeah, it was, let me build the doc. Let me send it to you so we both have it. Anything you want to add, perfect. Let's update that. You have full like privileges to edit everything. And then, yeah, we sit down. I hit record. I had a mini heart attack. I'm like, did I not hit record? Because I don't remember doing that, but I did. We're fine. Yeah, and then I hop off, put everything in a folder, slap it into Premiere. Usually the most editing comes with putting in the timestamps, which I'm just a fickle bitch with it. I like it to be as accurate as possible. And it's always cut out of the editing. But when we do our podcast, it's like, all right, I hit edit, I hit timestamps. I'm like, on this episode of Playlog, we do button shit and fucking damn. I'm like, all right, cool. I got the timing. Hey, everybody. And then that's where the video starts, right? But that could always be 10 seconds off, 5 seconds off, 2 seconds off. If I forget a timestamp, things are wrong. So I'm like, okay, this is this headline. Shit, I didn't take one for the fourth headline. Now this is wrong. So I had to fix. So like, that's usually the most the editing is, outside of just slapping on some footage at the end and hitting export. But yeah, usually when it comes to making it into some kind of TikTok or Blue Sky post, there's a few extra steps and stuff, which is why I think it's great. We record on Tuesdays. And then usually Wednesday's like the edit day of putting everything together, and then post it all Thursday and then rinse repeat. So the podcast is really a Tuesday through Thursday kind of commitment. But yeah, I enjoy the loop of it, but then eventually you took over the doc. I'm like, bet it's just always ready for me. Tofr just puts it together. I just got to add anything I got to say. And it's there. We're good.
Well, I mean, it's the least I can do, right?
Yeah.
And I like for example, we always do the indie releases for the week.
Yeah.
I like looking those up.
Yeah.
Because I have multiple sources where I'll be looking like, did this one, is this one added yet? Is the date correct for that one? That's the kind of work I really love to do.
Yeah.
So basically putting the doc together is fun.
Yeah, dude. It's great. I totally get it. I had a few resources when I was doing it, and usually it's Jill Grote with the Indian for me. Like, I'm like, what comes out this week? Got it. I slap it in. And I had a few other calendars because sometimes, she'll miss one, or like one gets announced here that doesn't get updated right away. So I'll scroll through like the Opera GX, like game hub of what's getting released this week and add those. And even like another calendar that usually had the more niche ones. Like I think they had the thing at the beginning of the year where they were just behind and didn't update that calendar. And last time I checked, they just didn't have anything for 2025. So I don't know if they just stopped doing it. So it's been mostly using, the Indian format to be like, here's my updates. I got them. Bet here's 3 games this week. And you're like, by the way, there's this and this and this. I'm like, cool. Use your calendar. I'm missing a lot.
Yeah. Every week I also go through my entire Steam wish list just to check if the date's correct and if there are any games missing, or if there's like a shadow drop coming up or something like that. Just to like try and be as complete as possible.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you enjoy that part. I didn't dislike it or anything. It wasn't like it was a bad part, but like it was certainly all right, this is the most of the chore, I guess, for making the doc, if I got to get this information correct, because everything else is just us reading an article or just talking about what we've been playing. Whereas I'm like, hold on, this has facts and dates and platforms and da 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 da. So it's always the slowest part for me. Let me think. I mean, I'm trying to think any other parts of like making the podcast where we can like keep stepping forward, but I guess like our recording sessions are all pretty much the same, where we hop on here. I screen record you through Discord. Everything is done like directly in OBS. I made it as like press and go as possible. Where like, here's the scene, Tofr's here. Oh, we're talking about our gameplay. I switch over to the, whatever scene, which, oh no, they see the doc. And then like, I'll put our gameplay footage over top, and it's really just as much as I can. So I'm not doing a lot of editing in post. And it's all like the live editing, which I think it was tough at first, because sometimes I'm like, I'm clicking the wrong thing. I don't know where to put this. This doesn't look right. Hold on. And then like, you'll say something. I'm like, 1 sec. I was just lost in the sauce trying to click a thing. You said something about a game. What'd you say? And like, my brain's a little more just like, this ear's listening to Tofr. This brain cell is fixing this thing on the screen. We're like, all right, keep the show going.
But that's the thing with you. And that's something that I am still struggling with slightly, is you make it all seem very natural. You like, you didn't catch something, you make a joke about it, and immediately it's just funny, and the show goes on. And I love that, because I am not as fluent like that, I guess is the word. I struggle a bit sometimes. There's like some moments of dead air in the middle of my sentences, just because I'm not as natural on camera. And I really enjoy that, because when we've mentioned my mental health struggles on this show before, and during episodes where I'm not doing too well, when I'm having a rough day, I always know that you've got my back, because you can just pick up where I leave off, and I'm so grateful for that, because we're so in tune with each other when it comes to that, when it comes to talking about these games. And I feel very lucky to have found someone to be able to do this with.
Hell yeah, dude. I have just always been a talkative motherfucker, where like I could sit here and ramble for days, right? And I'll have to stop and be like, wait, Tofr's here too. Tofr has to talk. Tofr has things to say. And it's just the diary of the mouth of I go. And if someone doesn't put up the red flag, or if I don't see the red flag myself, I'm like, oh, right. Hey, what do you think about this thing? Because I was just going to keep going. So that's like a fault that I think I've gotten better at. But I'm sure if you watch some older episodes, there's 15, 20-minute spurts of me just going.
But that's the fun thing. This show is so improvised. Like, we come in here, we have this doc, and that's all we have.
Yeah.
All the rest is just us talking to each other.
Yeah.
As friends. And I mean, we are friends. So to get people involved in this friendship is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It leads to very unexpected moments. Like, I had this whole thing prepared for our book club episode on what's it called? The blah 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 blah. I forget the name. Kentucky Route Zero. Kentucky Route Zero. I had this whole thing. I was gonna go into the lore and like go into like this really heavy discussions about the themes that the game presents. And that episode basically ended up in being all about like, oh, this game sucks.
It did do that, didn't it? But like, I think that's a great thing about the way we kind of evolve the doc, and it hasn't changed a lot. Like, there's some things that don't get touched, and I think as the episodes have gone, we have a lot of people, and I see the numbers on the back end, a lot of people who are listening but not so much engaging, and I'm like, that's one of those things I'm like, what do I need to say differently, or how do we need to approach this, or what makes people more comfortable wanting to do that? Because you don't get a lot of writing questions, so we really just started skipping that section altogether. And yeah, our last one has been like Daphne wrote in a while back, and I think it was something to do with the cozy game, or if we could live in a world, or something to the effect. And that's been like the most recent one. So it was a lot of like, oh, Tofr came up with a question today, just thought to ask. I'm like, oh, cool, this is a good one. I know we've had some people who have written in 7, 8, 9, 11, 20 times to be like, I have this question. I thought about this question, or this is my favorite indie game. But obviously the same person writing it over and over again, there's like a lot of things to ask. I don't really know. So it has become kind of an evolution. If something shows up, cool, let's put it in. But it's become not like something we've taken out of the show, but like no point in like harboring on, be like, sorry, no one wrote in this week, moving on. But that like aside, we were talking about the like for the book club in our doc. Like I think for the first two, we kind of just said like this game is here and then quickly pulled everything together versus like, okay, we are talking about Celeste, which has been out for blah, blah, blah. So we can pull up, it released on Steam on this date and then released on consoles on this date and currently has a Metacritic score of this, and like having that information as like a jumping off point and then pulling the Steam description and talking about it. Because that gives for someone who might be walking into the episode for the first time, or someone's like, I remember playing this game, or I've heard of the game, but don't really know anything about it. It gives us that intro that is just, this is very mechanical. This is what it is. And then awesome. Chains are off. Like, this is what we played. This is what we thought, which like Kentucky Route Zero, though a game I didn't enjoy, I think is one of my favorite book clubs because it was the most polarizing. We both were on a game where you're like, I enjoyed this game. Like, I didn't. Like, and it was weird. That was one of my games. Like, oh, I can't wait to play this one. Man, I did not enjoy this game. And it's fun. Is fun the word? Sure. It's fun to see. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to finish the sentence. It's fun to see games that I'm looking forward to that I don't enjoy. Not because, oh God, game bad, I never want to play this again, but game I've wanted to experience, I now have thoughts on, and it's not what I expected. Like, there's a lot of games I could look at that I'm like, I haven't played this, but I know Danny will like it. Like, I know I'll enjoy it. And Kentucky Route Zero is one that I was like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this. And not enjoying it was like, oh, it gives me so much to say about this game, even if it comes with just like disgusting hatred and how much I'm blah, 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 blah. And now the running bit is I just hate Kentucky Route Zero. And like, there's games I genuinely hate. Dead by Daylight. Can't fucking stand you. You're a terrible fucking game. And like, I'll put on the camera persona of like, I hate Kentucky Route Zero, but like genuinely, it doesn't bother me day to day to be like, this game exists. How could they do this? Like Dead by Daylight. But
Goddamn Dead by Daylight.
Fucking, let me tell you, man, fucking trash game. But yeah, like, and that's probably a good point to bring up, like the book club, right? Which has become a staple, was one of the things we put on our list of like, this is something I'd like to do. And it eventually became like a monthly thing. So like, where you at in the book clubs? How are you liking it? Is there anything you'd like want to add or change? I know we just kind of did a little bit of a formula change, but
yeah, no, I'm mostly looking forward to like the games. Like at the moment, we're playing games that I wanted to play. Celeste being my choice, Lorelei being my choice. But I'm very interested to see like what games we will pick in the future, because one of my favorite things about this whole podcast and the book club is how we have similar passion levels for indie games, and yet we can play completely different games. Yeah. For example, when you take the Steam Next Fest episodes, which are some of my favorite episodes that we've done, we somehow managed to not play any demo that we both play. That's just insane, because there's just so much on offer. But it's so cool because I get to know about so many games that I wouldn't have known about if it weren't for you. Right. And I think likewise, absolutely the other way around.
Yeah, those are, you're right. Those are some of the great, and we'll talk about like, which episodes we like the most, which ones we have like the best memories of. Right. And no, 100%. Like the Next Festival ones are always so long, and like the content creator / consumer in me is just like, man, these 3 episodes are a lot. Like, I know I would listen to that, but I listen to it in pieces. And like, how often do people do that? And like, I'm a sucker for Kind of Funny, which was very much the influence for me wanting to do a podcast like this and having that format. And a lot of things that I do or that we do here are like inspired by how Kind of Funny does their stuff. And I love that. But I also know like podcasts aren't for everyone. And again, that's why having some of the piecemeal stuff like this, what we talked about here, or this review is like great, because someone might want an 8 to 10 minute thing versus a 3-hour conversation. And I'm like, next Nest Fest, I should take like 5 each of like, oh, we talked about and like break these out to separate little previews. I think they'll be great. But yeah, again, having like this past Next Fest, right? Of like, you play Wheel World, which I didn't know was even on there because I somehow didn't have it on my wish list. And then, I played this set of games, you played this set of games, and being like, oh, dope. Like, this is on my wish list now, or like, I'm going to play this one. And then even if I play that demo, it doesn't always necessarily come into the following week because our Next Fest tend to be a 2-week back-to-back thing of like, here's what we played, here's what else we played. But yeah, I enjoy that. And that also goes into like the what we've been playing of we both play whatever we have there, like whatever keys come up. Because all things considered over the year, I don't think we've had a lot of like review episodes where like we've both played the same thing.
We haven't.
Because we started with Pepper Grinder, which was our first episode. We had
Tim is one that we
Chim,
both
reviewed. One we both reviewed. The Neva episode, we both reviewed Europa.
Yeah, that's right.
But like, I guess I could like scroll through. I have the playlist in front of me. But like, even as I'm scrolling here, right? Like, outside of the book clubs, I'm sure there was probably something we played, but they weren't like thumbnail. Like I did the Windblown episode, but that was I had Kanai and Connor. Like you took a step back for that one. But yeah, we haven't done a lot outside the book clubs where we've played the same game. So there's always I get to sit and listen to you talk about the game, and then you get to listen to me talk about the game, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I do enjoy those a lot because even if they're ones I'm excited for that I haven't touched, or I'm like, I've heard about this one, but haven't really looked into it. There's always I've always been I'm the indie guy. So a buddy from high school, Ben, we've been, best friends since like third grade. When we play games online together, not necessarily together, but like in the same like call, there was this like, so Danny, what is blank? Like, what is this game I see you playing? And it was be like, oh, so it's this game, you do that, and this happens. Like, is it good? I'm like, I'm having a blast. Not that Ben would ever play this game that I'm playing. Not that Ben would ever express genuine interest, but he would ask. And for a while I made like my TikTok format. It was so what is blank? And I was inspired by the way Ben would ask me what games are. Because I thought it was like, this person genuinely curious about what this game is. So let me tell him. And though I'd like to get back to that, I haven't done as many just like direct TikTok reviews in the last year or so. So it hasn't really been a thing. But like every day I'm still getting notifications on this Balatro one, whether it's someone reacting about how excited they are that Balatro was even nominated, or it's another person. Like I got a comment the other day, someone was just like, yeah, well, card games are only fun in real life. And I was like, who the fuck are you? Who asked you? Shut up. That's not correct. Like,
no,
but
really isn't.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I enjoy that format. And that was totally just the ADHD departure from where we were. But yeah, we play different games sometimes. That's cool.
We sure do. And that's why I'm looking forward to like the next book club episodes as well. Because after Lorelei, it's the next 2 months will be your picks.
Yeah.
I have no idea what games you're going to choose yet.
I'll be real. I don't either. I gotta scroll through Steam and see, yeah.
It's cool because we get to see each other's perspectives. For example, with the Monster Prom episode.
Yeah, another
the
game
example. The game didn't hit that much with me, but then just talking with you about it and how you see the game, how you experience the game, it just made me more excited about that game as well.
Yeah. Monster Prom, oh man, I fucking love Monster Prom, dude. MonsterCon, 23 days, baby. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, it's getting closer.
Yeah, no, I same thing with the book clubs, right? And like this year has been mostly like your pick. I think we started Hollow Knight was our first one of the year. That was kind of a mutual, like let's do Hollow Knight. Which then led into Monster Prom, right? Which I guess Hollow Knight would have been mine, but whatever. Hollow Knight, Monster Prom, and then Celeste, and now Lorelei. As we're cycling back, I'm like, which ones do I pick? And like, there's the thing of like, I know we're both adults that have busy lives, so I'm like, I don't want to pick a big, over the top. This is a long game we got to play through, right? While at the same time, like, what games have I not played? What games do I want to replay, right? And I'm like looking at my Steam library. I'm like, Henchman's Story was a cool visual novel that I checked out the demo. I want to get back to that. I look at things like The Wandering Village. I'm like, I don't know how much of a book club we can make out of that one because it's a city builder and like maybe. So yeah, there's always something. Oh, dude, wait, you play Inscription?
I have played it, but I have never finished it.
Okay.
So that would be
Put an asterisk next to that one. Put an asterisk next to that one.
Yeah.
Oh man, Inscription, dude. But yeah, no, the idea of what could possibly be played next, I think is fun because I love the Smash Bros hype reveal of like what could be next, who's coming, who's showing up, and there's like, what's the next book club? We just finished the last Lorelei, and I guarantee people are like, I don't know what that is, and people are like, oh, I've heard of that one. So there's always the like, not disappointment, but just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you guys should be excited anyway. It's gonna be good.
That's another thing that I really that I'm really excited about when it comes to the podcast. I think if you just look at the video version, I think 75% of the time we're both laughing because we're having such a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that. I've seen screenshots taken from our episodes, and like it's always just having both of us having an excellent time. And yeah, that's cool.
It's fantastic. I love it. It's so much fucking fun, dude. I guess now is a great time to mention like what some of our favorite episodes were, or even just moments, period. So like, I'll be real. I'm scrolling through the playlist because I'm like, I didn't take the time to think about that this week. So I'm hoping you did, because
I wrote some things down for sure. Yeah.
Cool beans.
It was fun to have like a friend of the show, Daphne, show up for the Spirit Fair book club.
Yeah.
But I also really have a special place in my heart for the Celeste and Night in the Wood book clubs.
Okay.
Just because both of those games are so close to my heart, and these episodes allowed me to talk about my struggles with mental health issues in a way that I haven't been able to, or to an audience that I have never been able to reach yet. And I think that's cool, especially seeing the response from like people in your audience being like, it's really cool to have you talk about this. It's very heartwarming, because these things deserve more attention to them.
Yeah.
And being allowed a platform to talk about these things and doing so through two excellent games like that is quite the privilege.
That's it's fun, right? To think about what could be, will be, should be, et cetera, right? Of like getting to talk about a game that you and I both heard of, but knowing a majority of my audience hasn't. I think that's what like my Twitch experience normally is, because I'll put on a game and a lot of times it's like, if people haven't heard of it, they're not hopping into chat to watch it. So having the platform to be like, hey, if you watch the full episode, you're going to hear us talk about this. If I break it out, and you're going to be like, oh, that looks interesting, right? And having that space to talk about things like Celeste and Night in the Woods, which are both fairly popular indie games in the grand scheme of things, but like having the moment to talk about something that most people might not be interested in, or most people might not click on a video to find out about, but might just hear bits of, or see a TikTok, or see the Blue Sky clip, like, oh wait, yeah, it seems pretty chill. I like this, the idea of this game. I think that's fun for me with the podcast as a whole.
Yeah. I just like that there's space to evolve the conversation beyond just the games themselves. For example, another episode that was pretty special to me was the episode where we talk about people of color in indie games. Because it allowed me to like ask you about your experiences and what it feels like for you, and it's shown me something that I could never have understood by myself.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. I definitely loved that episode. It was also an episode that came out at, it seems extreme to say a dark time, but I don't think that's overselling it. Because that episode was really inspired by Dustborn coming out.
Yeah.
And Dustborn was just getting raked over the coals for existing, right? And to this day, I still have yet to play it, because there's like this pit in my stomach of the moment I'm like, I make content about Dustborn, the raging, homophobic, racist, whatever audience shows up and blows up my comments again. Because what I'll typically do is I do like, hey guys, this month here are the games coming out. It's one long 15 to 20 minute video on YouTube, but then I break out each individual game into a TikTok, a YouTube short, whatever. And the Dustborn one was just flooded through like hatred, like who paid you to talk about this game? And like, it was one of the first games I played at PAX, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. I got to speak to the devs a little bit. That was such a cool thing. And then we put out that episode, and I'm sure if I go through the analytics, it is the one with the worst like to dislike ratio. It like people dislike that episode because we talked about Dustborn, or we talked like I talked about being black and playing video games. And though I don't think the engagement was super, like I didn't get a lot of hate comments on that one, the Dustborn one certainly hit that. So though I thoroughly enjoyed that episode, there was the fear. I was like, fuck, I like am afraid to hit the go live on this one just because I know what's happened before and I'm afraid it's going to happen again. And that was a day of like, hit go live, don't look at YouTube. I don't want to see anything. And then when I came back, I'm like, okay, less of an issue, not a huge problem. It didn't really have the effect that I was afraid it would. But the fact that I still had to feel that fear of what's going to happen because I got to talk about my experience as a gamer, and then white dudes are like, yeah, well, how about you just shut the fuck up, you know? So it was a rough one, but yeah, I'm glad that episode existed.
Yeah, I'm grateful that you went through with it.
Yeah.
Because I would have understood if you had been like, this is a bit too much. I don't want to risk it. That would have been fair game, and we could have moved on to something completely different.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that we do choose to like speak up, and that we do so through our shared love. Because what I've learned from like my years in therapy is that we humans seem very motivated by fear.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you can choose whether to act through fear or through love, always act through love. And I feel like this podcast does that.
Yeah.
Even when we dislike a game, we try to see the positives in them. We try to see like what makes them work, what people might enjoy about them that we didn't enjoy per se.
Yeah.
And I really like that. We don't go for like the sensationalist. Oh, this game is trash. This is the worst. No, we try to like be uplifting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a very important value to me, and I'm really happy that we share that here.
Yeah, that's such a great thing for me as well, where content is so driven by negativity these days, where people want to hear you talk shit about a game. We've seen it with Dragon Age. We've seen it with talk about any AAA game that's come out in the last year. It is not even just AAA game with woman, black person, or black woman on the cover. Like that's the life. So like, you know, that's what gets to click. That's what people want to see, whether it's, I want to see this because I think you're wrong, or I want to see this because I agree with you. It's, I guess, tough to stand out when you're being positive in about a game, even when you're being negative about a game, but in a positive way. Like, I think there's something to that I wish was appreciated more. And there's only so much you can do to even try and change that. But yeah, I like being able to have a level-headed conversation about a game and be like, all right, cool, bet. We didn't like it, but it was the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we also have like we also have really funny times. For example, one of the memories that I wrote down was way back during one of our very first episodes. You asked me, like, you know, what's the indie publisher? And I went, Annapurna Interactive. And you just burst out laughing. And I'm like, oh, it was Devolver.
Oh God, what were we talking about there? Was that
I don't even remember that.
Huh.
That memory just stuck with me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what episode it was. I just remember it being way back.
Couldn't think either. That's fuck. There's so many like there's 53 1.5 to 3 hour episodes, right? That's so many hours of footage now where I'm like, fuck. That's so much time in a year. Where did we find the time? What did we do?
Yeah. But again, like you mentioned it before, but that's another thing that I wrote down is that we talked about it and we decided that probably the way to go was make the podcast shorter. And then the next couple of episodes were probably our longest episodes to date.
Yeah. And like, I've thought about that, right? Because we talked like, all right, we can make the episode shorter. I'm like, what's the way to do that? And ultimately the idea is cutting content or cutting part of the show to be like, what do we need to take out?
Yeah.
And in my head, a lot of it's been like, it's the indie news, right? Because I think that's like great discussion. I think if it's a big enough one to make that like the topic of the show, awesome. But like, sometimes it is like, that is 20, 30 minutes of us talking about, hey, this game sold really well. Hey, this game's coming to Game Pass. And like, I think thinking in what's the best content for that, that might be Danny makes a quick YouTube short, right? Or like, had the scheduling come together, I would have loved to do an episode talking about Earthblade, but it was one of those, we recorded the episode, news dropped on Wednesday, episode came out Thursday, so we weren't able to get together to talk about the Earthblade thing. And that was like, let me just sit down and talk about it. I'm like, this video performed fairly well. It did in the thousands of views. I'm like, cool. Like my videos don't typically do that. So that was exciting. I'm like, maybe the news is a standalone thing. And I'm not ready to say yay or nay on like, yeah, we should totally cut the news and just do the reviews, the discussion, the whatever. But it's been one of those, like, maybe this is the move to see if we want to keep it shorter. But you know, neither here nor there. I'm also down if audience is like, no, please. You're like, yeah, you can cut the news, you know, or again, if that's we prefer that in our conversation, we don't want to cut that. I'm down either way, but you know, sometimes like we want to cut it short. How, what do we got to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to think, like going back through the list of episodes, right? We, as of late, try to avoid them more, but I see how many we've done. We do a lot of list episodes. And we'll typically be like, that's another list episode. Maybe we should do something else in between. But like the list episodes are fun. And I think one of my concerns is that once we do list episodes, how many times is Danny going to mention Cuphead and Shovel Knight? How many times is Tofr going to mention Celeste, Night in the Woods, etc.? It's like how many times are we going to just repeat ourselves talking about our favorite cozy game and then our favorite adventure game and our favorite story game and our favorite indie game? And like how many times is that the rinse and repeat? But at the same time, I think there's something to getting the chance to talk about games we love multiple times, not insanely multiple times, but like we did underrated indies where I think we did like under this many Steam review scores, which like we talked about Floppy Nights and Flow and Tinykin, which we'll talk about again here, right? We did a top 10 favorite roguelikes, which I think is the only one we've done of like top 10 of our favorite this genre, right? Which
I think so, yeah.
Definitely could circle back and do more of those. I'm sure we could do platformers, et cetera, story games, dating sims, you know. I don't know if we can get a top 10 out of that. We'll see. But yeah, like I do enjoy our list episodes, and I still hope to not make them like 3 weeks in a row. We did a list episode, but I think they're great. And then combining those with the trivia ones, I think those are great. Where we do either the bad Steam reviews or the does Danny remember 2024 was definitely one of my highlights. Where I'm like, don't really? Oh, that's a great one, dude. It's so great because I love video game trivia, and every now and again, like I'll pull up a YouTube video. I'm like, oh, cool. Let me see what this, and they're always the music ones, right? Or someone's like, let's play super mega hard, and they play like the Halo theme. I'm like, that's not hard. That's not. Everyone fucking knows the Halo theme, dude. That's not a hard one. Or like, oh, I played Lavender Town from Pokemon, and that's super hard. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, and not to sound pretentious, but I'm just like, your musical knowledge of video games is so minute. Like throw in a fucking crazy, like if someone put in Wild Frost in there, I'd get it. But I think the average gamer wouldn't get Wild Frost in a very difficult like music challenge, right? So like, I think those are things that I would love to see more. So when we do the challenge, like here's the quiz, I'm like, okay, Tofr asked me things that Tofr knows and that I should know, and the average gamer wouldn't ask me this question. So I'm like, all right, now I really gotta fucking think. And like, I like the trivia ones are fun. Those are great.
Yeah, I wrote those down as well, but I'm happy to hear that you enjoyed the end of year quiz as well, because that one was like, it's hard to find like the right balance, because you want to make it challenging, but you don't want to make it like impossible. Yeah, because impossible quizzes aren't fun.
No, at all.
But then I have to think. Then I start thinking. You know, what do I know about the indie games that came out this year? Yeah. What does Danny know about these games? Because again, we've played very different games. I think we had one game that was on both our top 10s for 2024.
Balatra.
So yeah. So that makes it really interesting, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it that way.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's so much fun. All the quiz ones. Again, I love the list ones, and then even thinking about like ceremonious ones, right? Like we have kind of a routine of we did our Playlog Awards, which was very exciting for me because I think for the last like 2 or 3 years, I've wanted to do like a Nomi Awards type deal. And it was a little more focused on the Twitch stuff where I'm like, what was everybody's favorite clip? What was the favorite game we streamed? What was the favorite channel meme? And it's just a lot of organization of that like I wasn't finding the time to do. But then the Playlog Awards was us being like, hey, these are the games we played. This is the doc we put together a few months. And like, we got to update that doc to like keep up throughout the year of like action adventure games, so we can keep doing that. But like doing the Playlog Awards for 2025 is like, that's really exciting for me. Like we're going into the year planning what that's going to look like. And then it'll be a little bit better next year than the year following and everything else. But then like knowing the penultimate episode of the year, the premiere episode of the year, and then the second episode of the year are like the awards, our top 10, our most anticipated. Because again, those are really just prestigious list videos, but like they're moments in time of like, we look back on what we've played and then we look forward to what we're going to play next. And those have always been like videos I would grind out at the end of a year of like, I wrote both scripts, I've recorded both videos, I edit this one, drop it on January 1st, I edit this one, drop it on January 8th or whatever. So I like, this is what I'm looking forward to. And again, because it's a lot of effort to record and edit, having it as we sat down and spoke and then put out a long video, I'm like, cool, this is like a lot more manageable and we get the same thing across in a much longer format, but like, I'm not mad about that. So that's great.
Yeah, it's true. I love the awards, and I was thinking maybe we could call them the loggies.
I like loggies. I like the loggies. I need
and the award could just be like a log of wood.
Yeah. I would love a world in the future, right? Where it's like a little more of a big project, but like I've been trying to figure out the logistics of making for PAX this year, because a lot of our mutual, the crossplay conversation guys, the 6-1 indie guys do like little trophies for like games a show. And I'd love to bring like 4 trophies to PAX and be like, hey, this is like the Nomi for like our most, one of the game of shows for PAX. And I think I would give 2, Kanai would give 2, and we maybe give like a collective one to hand out like 5 trophies. But I think the idea is I make my logo in 3D in Blender and then get those 3D printed. I'm like, what does my timeline look like? Can I do that before the beginning of May? Hopefully, fingers crossed. So,
nice.
Yeah, doing something similar, right? If there was a way of doing to start as like a virtual award and being like, hey, we did this thing, like you won our best music, you won our game of the year or whatever, and handing those out or finding a way to send them to people is a financial contribution. I'm like, okay, we can't do that yet. But like, I think it would be cool in the long run to do something like that.
Yeah.
Or even if we get like a cool badge on Steam, or like, oh, we got a loggy. Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I
have wondered about this. Like, why aren't you a Steam curator yet?
I don't know. Is that like, I feel like there's always a stigma with Steam curators. Like, I feel like that's a bad person. Am I wrong in that assumption? I feel like when I hear people talk about Steam curators, they're the people who just like hoard a bunch of games and then say I played them but don't like I don't know. Maybe I don't understand the aspect of Steam curator, and I should be.
There's all kinds of Steam curators. It's just a question of finding the right ones, and like for example, I remember the episode where we talked about the woke games list.
Yeah.
There is an actual Steam curator who does that.
Fuck
yeah. So it's a question of finding the right ones, and then that's where you come in, because like if you need to find an indie game, who do you turn to?
Danny. I looked at my door instead of the camera. I'm not sure what that was about. I really don't know what happened there. I just went, Danny.
It looked like you weren't all too sure of yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. that was a weird moment. But yeah, I mean, like we could sit here again. There's 52 episodes of the show, and like, I think one of the things I've thought about, right, and this is maybe how do we change the podcast, so we can lead right into that. Again, I watch a lot of Kind of Funny and how they do that. I think for a while they numbered their like games casts, which was their weekly podcast. We talked about a game, and I think having the number on it shows this like continuity that you might be missing out on. That's true. Like we're on episode 54. That's 55 episodes. If someone finds Playlog today and says like, oh, I want to 55 episodes, 2 to 3 hours a pop. That's a commitment. That's like watching One Piece, you know? I've been like, do I take the numbers out? Do I leave it on Spotify as like, this is the 55th episode in this playlist and blah, 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 blah. because I guess it doesn't truly matter for the YouTube sake. If someone just opens the playlist and says, I want to listen to this one about this, like, sure, there might be a meme because we do this thing now that we didn't do 10 episodes ago, but like, there shouldn't be I feel like I have to watch the whole series to understand what's happening. So that's been like another one of those flickering lights in the back of my head of like, is that scaring people away? Do I not do that? I'm not sure yet. So
I get it. Maybe it might be a solution to just add the date to the title instead of a number, the episode's number.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know if the algorithm will love that, but probably in the description probably wouldn't matter. Yeah.
Although it does say the date right underneath the episode, right?
Oh, it does do that, huh? Damn it, YouTube. Make more people watch the shit. But yeah, I guess if that leads us into like the wrap up of like the topic, right? Like future plans and wishes for the no more.
Before you move on.
Yeah.
What if we just make this episode the final episode of season 1?
Oh my god. What if? We could.
And then next week we start season 2, episode 1.
Oh man. That's nerve-wracking. What if? How do we trying to think what that could cause? What mayhem would that bring? If I just go to Spotify,
it alters the timelines.
Yeah. And then our next, like, the title is season 2 starts now. Like, what an interesting, like, this is the time to get in. But,
yeah.
Listen, for Spotify saying it might not be bad. I don't know what it benefits or fails, but maybe, episode 55, maybe. Season 1 episode. Yeah. Okay.
It might just see people like start with episode 1 from season 2 and just not listen to it as to the first year of the podcast. But if it makes it more manageable for people, sometimes it just does that. Like numbers can do that for people.
Yeah. I could probably fuck around with the episode and just make it season 2, episode 1 and see if I see any genuine difference. And if not, I think I just go and be like, no, season 1, 55, and just, obviously find out in the first couple weeks. And I'm like, is this worth doing? Okay. That way I don't have to go through another year of stuff. Be like, season 1, 55, season 1, 56, and change them all back. But okay, listen, chat. If you see a season 2 next week, don't be surprised. It might happen. We'll see. You can find the logistics. I might do a deep dive and like Spotify seasons benefit, good, bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts to think. But yeah, I guess like future plans and wishes for the podcast, right? Is there anything that like we haven't done yet or things we've talked about that we like, haven't circled back to that you're like, I'm looking forward to seeing this happen with the show?
One thing that we've talked about in private before is that I would love to showcase games more through the words of the developers themselves.
Yes.
So having devs onto the podcast would be something really cool.
Yeah.
Just because like this podcast is all about showcasing games, and who's gonna be the best person to promote their own game than the people making it?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because we've done dev talks on the channel and those are fun. I think there's been the cycle of the way I produce this show is very much like I have to do all this plus play the game, which is like, fuck, I don't know. So like the last couple of dev talks, I'm like, hey, can I get a partner who's going to play the game while I talk to the developer? And then if they have any questions, like they can chime in and whatever. Which even though that worked out fairly well, I think it still becomes like, it's a tough thing to put together. Because again, there's the conversation, there's the game, etc. But yeah, having developers on the show to talk about their game is a very exciting idea for me. Speaking of which, we could follow up on that and see how that's going for a future episode. But yes, I would love that. I think if we do like the first one right and put out clips of that, and because I think those would make great TikToks for sure. I think there's the moment of like, I ask a question, you ask a question, we show the dev with the game, and it's like, okay, these are the people making the game talking about their game. And I know not a lot of indie devs can necessarily afford or have the time to make their own short form content. So having something out there is always nice.
That's true.
Which I think is great, in practice. So in the future, doing developer interviews in the show is definitely something I want to do more of for sure. Beautiful Glitch, I'm fucking calling you out. We got a couple weeks. I didn't think about this. When we talked about reaching out to Beautiful Glitch, there wasn't a release date, and now there is. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if that's going to happen. But
we can try.
We can try. DMs can be shot. And then I think the only other thing that's been a hurdle, I guess, is time zones, right? Where like you're farther in the evening, I'm still at, it's about to be 4 p.m. for me. So like, there's always the like, when is that gonna, what time is it for you now?
It's almost 10.
Yeah, it's a couple hours difference, you know? You know, and then depending where the devs are from, it's like, if they're closer to your time zone, like, can you guys record at 10 p.m.? Or like, if they're in my time zone, like, can you guys record at 2 in the afternoon? They're like, no, we're working. We're not. So there's been the like, oh, if we do this, I think it's gotta be a weekend thing. So we can like, could we do it on a Saturday? And like, I'm always down if something is coming up, like I stream Saturday afternoons, but I'm like, hey guys, don't stream today because I'm recording the podcast for a special blah, blah, blah. Never a thing that, you know, I won't say never. Sometimes there might be like, we have to do Saturday because blah, blah, blah happened, you know? But yeah, I think working around those and trying to do things like that so it's more convenient for everyone. So it's earlier for you, convenient for any devs who want to, you know, have that conversation. And that's just a matter of getting with them. I think we could probably be very flexible. It's just a matter of organization, but
Absolutely.
yeah.
Like
So
right now,
developers.
I'm still at home.
Yeah.
Because of my mental health and my sleep issues.
Mm.
So like recording later at night, like I did yesterday with the with your stream, your R.E.P.O stream.
Yeah.
Is a possibility, but I don't know if that will remain the case once I
Sure.
get back to work, of course.
Yeah. Which
but
we
yeah,
figure it out.
we can be flexible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, there might be a dev interview coming soon. Wink, wink, finger guns.
Is there anything else that you were hoping for like the future?
Honestly, like that's probably the biggest is the developer interviews, because I think like if there's one thing, we talk about the games we play and how we like them, and we do like the releases each week, but yeah, having the chance to not just speak with developers, because I think that is also great because they get to talk about their own game, but I think it builds more of a network of like, they know we exist, we have a closer bond with them. I think if I'll always think about, again, I'm going to keep bringing up Kind of Funny this episode, but they did an episode with Ben Starr where he was on like his press tour talking about Final Fantasy 16, which was a game I'm like, this looks cool, but I'm really not that invested in it, right? Like I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. I still have yet to finish Final Fantasy 16. I dream to. We'll see what happens. But seeing Ben Starr go on the show, right, and talk about who Clive was to him and like how this character reminded him of his father and like how his father passed away before the game came out, so he didn't get to see him in this role and like how impactful it was. I'm like, I'm seeing the person behind the game talk about the game, and that feels great. That like I'm seeing not someone who's excited about the game talk about the game. I'm seeing the person making it be excited for their own product. I think that's awesome. So having that for things like the dev talk, or having someone who's like, oh, I know Danny and Tofr, if they like the game, I'll probably like it. Or if they don't like the game, I know I won't like it. But having that moment of like, oh, I'm sold because I heard this person say this one particular thing about their game and change it for me. Like, I think that's a really cool opportunity that I would love to do more. Yeah. So 100% the dev interviews is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And with Blue Sky,
let's make it happen.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it, baby. Hey, so shoot us some DMs on Blue Sky, Instagram, business emails in the bio. You know, let's talk shop. That's what we can do.
All there. It's all there.
Exactly. That'd be great. But yes, Tofr, that's our first year of Playlog podcast, man.
Hell yeah.
Can't believe we did the damn thing. Made it this far without burning to the ground. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to put the cap back on this freaking USB and it won't click, and it's been bugging me for like 5 minutes.
Oh no.
Did I break
you broke
it? I might have, dude.
Oh no.
Shitter. I don't even want to play with it anymore. But timestamp, which means it's a great time to move on to what we've been playing. So Tofr, you want to talk about your game first?
Sure. I received a key to play Koira. I think that's how you pronounce it.
That's how I've been saying it.
It's a game by a Belgian development studio, Studio Tolima. Yeah. And in this game, you are a person who rescues right at the start of the game. You rescue a dog from like a hunter's trap, and then you set off. Like the goal of the game is to make it home with your dog, but you have to go through this kind of enchanted forest, where there are a lot of hunters walking about and shooting live animals and stuff like that. So it's pretty damn dangerous. The game is completely wordless. Like the
Okay.
story is told purely through its imagery and through the music. Like when you and your dog talk to each other, it's you hear musical notes,
Aww.
which is a really cool thing. Because the music is easily one of the highlights of this game. The music is phenomenal. So what you do is you move through this forest, solving some light puzzles. Like you reach statues every now and again, and then you have to sing certain musical notes to them. But you have to collect these notes somewhere in the level through solving these puzzles. But the main gist of the game is just hanging out with your cool dog.
Yeah.
Like you can play fetch, you can pet him, you can feed him, and the biggest sell for me on this game is easily that relationship.
Okay.
Even without words, you just feel this companionship between this human and this dog. It's so well done. It's just a shame that the game is held back a bit by some elements that aren't as good. Like most of the gameplay is nothing new. You will have played this before. The exploration is something we've seen in different games. The puzzles, if you've played any game in the past, you will easily solve these puzzles. Like I'm not a puzzle guy, and I managed to solve them pretty easily. There are some light stealth sections which I didn't like. Mostly because the hunters and their dogs are pretty scary, but they're also slightly annoying.
Just like bad placement. There's the AI is not bad, but just like annoying, like in the way.
Yeah, it's how should I put this? It's just annoying when they show up because like you have to do this and this and you have to wait and you have to, and I don't know. Maybe it's just personal taste, but I wasn't feeling it.
Sure, but it's like the moment that brings the game to the crawl. You're like, oh, okay, it's one of these sections.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit, because the game really comes to life in like the smaller moments when it's just you and your dog hanging out. Another big thing in this story is there are times when you're faced with these hunters or their dogs, and the only solution you have to deal with them is get angry. Now, getting angry is seen as this really bad thing by the game.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have minded that if there was another solution, but there isn't. Like when you're surrounded by like 4 different dogs and a couple of hunters behind them, the only way to get out is to basically fight them. And the game doesn't present any other option to deal with that. There's no escape possible. But then after your angry outburst, your dog is scared of you.
Oh.
And that sucks. And it's really well done because like when you get angry, you don't sing anymore when you talk.
Oh.
Your music is replaced by loud noises, these harsh noises, and your dog is just scared of them. And then you just have to calm down and find that music within yourself again. So it left a really it left me in doubt, really. Because on the one hand, I think it's a really cool thing when your dog then loses trust in you and you have to regain that trust. That's really well done. But I struggled with the idea that your anger is such a bad thing. I mean, angry people, they're no fun to deal with.
True.
Yeah, but I would have liked it more if there had been, like, for example, another solution, but getting angry was just an easier solution, and then the game would like tell you like you chose the wrong option, something like that.
Yeah.
But now it's just, and especially because those anger issues play such a vital part of the game. And yeah, it's a really good game, and I wish it had been even better. but it's still really good. Like
Okay.
it's beautiful. As you can see, the visuals are gorgeous.
Yes.
I love how like the character design is really simple.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically these black blobs, like ink or something.
Yeah.
But the eyes are very expressive. The
Yes.
eyes tell their own stories, and that's really, really well done.
Yeah.
I also like how there's not too much color within the game because it's set in winter. So it
Okay.
really catches this wintry vibe, this snowy vibe. The music is fantastic. The gameplay is good, but not great.
Gotcha. Yeah, visual style I like a lot. It reminds me of like Kyle Thompson games, so like Islets and Crypt Custodian. So that was a big selling point for me. It's not one that I've had a chance to play yet. It seems like I'll pick this up on PlayStation for a nice like afternoon platinum kind of game at some point. I'm definitely not unsold. Like hear the things I had wrong with it. I'm like, okay, I think I could power through that and like survive. I think you said what 4-ish hours it took you to beat.
Yeah. 4.
So it sounds like it's something that'd be up my alley. I keep sitting here because it was on my release. Like this is in my indie releases video for April when I get that edited. And all the trailers are like, April 17th. So like, this is later in the month. And I guess it just got bumped up like, nope, April 1st. So I guess that's today for us as of recording.
Yeah,
so,
it's out already.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks great. I like the style. I definitely think I'm down to try it. I can't say it's what I'm going to immediately dive into. Just with what else I have sitting on my plate. But I'm definitely interested. I definitely want to play it.
It is really good, and I understand why Don't Nod decided to publish this because like for the developers, it's their first game, so to get the backing from like a big name like Don't Nod is quite something, and I understand why they chose this game to publish it.
Yeah,
it's not as high up for example. Jusant, which was a Don't Nod game as well. It's not on that level, but it gets close to that.
Okay, we take that. Yeah. I haven't played Jusant either. I played the demo, but then I just the full game came out. I was like, oh yeah, what else is happening? So
yeah,
but
I get it.
Yeah, no, Koira looks great. I'm glad you're still high on it, even with like these are the issues we have. But like, I think having a game without issues is hard to find. So
that's true. I have to say, like the end of the game made it all worthwhile for me.
Okay.
There was a moment during the game where I got really annoyed with it, where I wanted to stop playing, but I decided to sit it out, and I'm glad I did. Because there's like it builds to this moment of catharsis that's really, really well done, and then everything that comes afterward is just beautiful. So.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Koira. Everyone check out Koira. It's on I think Steam and PlayStation. I think are the platforms for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Then I'll take a moment here and I'm gonna talk about, hey, get off that monitor. Come down here. Sorry, my footage is in the wrong spot. We fixed it. While working on my April video, there were a couple games I'm like, there's demos for these that I haven't played yet. And I hadn't played much this week. So I was like, let me hop in and play a demo for the podcast today. So I checked out this new upcoming first-person parkour game called White Knuckles. I got a press email about it maybe like a month back. And it is basically a like Jump King not even puzzle platformer, just like precision platformer, but it's first person as opposed to like the 2D, like I jumped, I falled, I gotta go again. But it's got a horror twist to it. So it's very like eerie and there's crazy noises and monsters and stuff in there. I'm in a lukewarm but satisfied spot with it right now. I was playing through the tutorial and they definitely like I found this challenge of using the inventory and climbing at the same time. I don't have my head wrapped around that quite yet. I think it's just a matter of playing and finding how you want to do it with your controls. Maybe it's a matter I have to use a controller and not mouse and keyboard, but the way it works is you pick up items along the way. So like there'll be pythons, like the things you like stab into a wall so you can keep climbing, as well as a hammer so you can like hit the thing in all the way so it stays in place. But it's as you go through a full level, there are sections of a map. So you'll start the same levels always, like at the beginning is the same. It's just a cylindrical tower that goes up. There's like a bunch of little pegs on the wall. You climb those and you enter like level 2. That's where it starts to randomly generate and it'll be any combination of things. There'll be there's a hole in this wall, or there's an empty spot on this wall that has no pythons or nothing to climb on. So you have to find some, climb up it. And you're like, cool, if I put these in the wall, I make it all the way to the top, etc. You have stamina on your hands, so the longer you hang, the quicker you'll fall and everything.
Makes sense.
There's also momentum to it, where like when you jump and grab something, you kind of want to swing backwards and swing forward. I'm finding trouble visualizing that in first person. And I think that's part of like the pixely / voxel style, where I'm like, I feel like I'm losing the momentum that I should have. And then, yeah, the inventory is holding tab to quickly grab and drop items. So you have this big circle where you can just put shit in, and then you have 2 little hot spots for 1 and 3. So if you put the hammer and the pythons in there, you can hold inventory with left click 1, you'll take the hammer, right click 3, you'll take the python and you'll put it in the separate hands. So it seems intuitive enough. I've just not been able to find a comfortable way to do it. I feel like I'm expecting the game to like slow down, one of those like bullet time type moments of like, he's in his inventory, let him grab something, but it doesn't. It still stays in real time.
Okay.
So this is the part of the tutorial where I got stuck on. I'm like, I'm just going to try the real thing. And I've died a couple times, but I've actually made progress to like levels 3 and 4 of those sections. Nice. So I'm enjoying it. I'm seeing something cool. I'm afraid the game is going to hit me with more of these python puzzles. I'm like, now I'm just out. Now I just don't know how to succeed at this. But the game is really cool. The concept here is dope. It is this roguelike. And again, I like unique types of roguelikes that aren't just beat bad guys, die, get upgrade, whatever. Like the one section of the game, there'll be, I think it's just called a barnacle, but there's this big gelatinous something that sits on the map. And when you climb up, it'll shoot. It's almost like carrion. Like it shoots arms out throughout the room. And one of them grabs you, it just like pulls you in until it eats you. I don't know if there's a way to fight out of it yet. I wasn't able to. If there is a way, I don't know how, but I have to imagine. Or maybe it's like I'll get an upgrade that will let me do that later. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by the game. I think my buddy Super Nintendo brought up one night on stream, like, hey, everyone check this game out. I'm like, I just got the press email. I'm interested, but haven't really looked. I thought this was a VR game at first. It is not. It is just a first person game. I think a VR game like mode probably would benefit this a lot. I think with the mobility. But yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is figuring out the momentum and how to use the inventory. I've only put maybe 30-40 minutes into it, so I don't have a good grasp yet of what I need to do better. I'm still intrigued, and I'm looking forward to seeing the full game come out. I think it's the 17th is sitting in my head. I don't know if that's just because of Koira. Okay, cool. But yeah, game is cool. I like the ideas. I think it might just be a get good or figure it out type moment for me now, but definitely a learning curve of how do I play this game right so far.
Okay, cool. It's really nice to see how many climbing games we're getting.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like while playing this, right, I was thinking about Valley Peaks and trying to incorporate that like into this, and they're similar but very different. So it wasn't a like I'm frog climbing mountain. It's time to get good. I have much less stamina in this, so and I haven't got any upgrades yet. So I'm sure as I get those, that might benefit me more, and I'll figure it out. But yeah, I keep thinking bullet time on that inventory would be great. That'd be awesome. But
that does sound handy.
Yeah. But for now, we see. But yeah, wish us that one if it looks dope for you. And then with that timestamp, Tofr, I played R.E.P.O, you played R.E.P.O, and now we've played R.E.P.O together. Last night we streamed some R.E.P.O. It was you and me, as well as my buddy Chris, Connor, Nerdstorm, and of course LB, my lovely overseer for Fallout 313. How was playing Fallout with Fallout? How was playing R.E.P.O with us?
It was an interesting experience. I mean it in a good way.
Yeah.
Like the first thing I want to mention is just as an introverted person with 5 extroverted person, that was something. But it was really cool. It was cool seeing like the chaos, because this was This was a gang built for chaos. There was singing, there was taunting monsters, there was but it was so cool. Like LB did some action hero moves.
What a champ, dude. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to women, but then there's moments like this where LB's just like, check me out. I'm like, fuck, how'd you do that? Try to find that. She's parkouring and shit. I gotta find when we're all dead. Where are we at?
But yeah, it was a lovely time, and I would love to come back to do this again. Even though I was very, very, very tired. Oh, that was
when I fell. We could have just won the game. We're like, I guess if we just SD, I'm like, wait, no, why? just get the money. I think I was when LB showed up, so we wouldn't have gotten the money to do it anyway. But yeah, no, it was a blast because we were setting up at a spot. I didn't know how the night was going to go because I was like, hey, Tofr said they're free Monday night if you want to play some R.E.P.O. I hit up the group. I was like, hey, if you guys are down, like if you want to play some R.E.P.O, we're playing on Monday. Initially, LB had plans, so she wasn't going to be there. Chris was going to be there. Connor was going to, and then had some stuff he had to take care of. He's like, we'll see if I make it. I'm like, okay. Kanai was going to join, but it was his wife's birthday, so scheduling didn't work out. Nerdstorm showed up. He's like, I only get out of work at like 7:30. So it was a lot of like, will they show up? Won't they show up? What's going to happen here and there? We don't know. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to get the group together. It was a cool thing of like, this was the first time you and I got to actually play games together over like the year of talking about games and never like, again, time zones are weird. So like, how often do we get a chance to do it?
That's true.
But yeah, like I'm having a good time with this game, like a lot of fun. I'm finding myself after Lethal Company. That was a game I'm like, I could play this like once a month now. Like I probably won't play it once a month, but like I get my fill really quick with Lethal Company. And I think this is new. I understand. So I probably felt the same way about Lethal Company then, but like I played this game like 4 days back to back where I streamed with Nerdstorm on his channel. I streamed with one of my mods, Phantom, on her channel. I just played with LB and friends the one night on Discord, and then we streamed it Monday. So it was just like day after day, me playing R.E.P.O. I was like, man,
damn.
I thought I'd be sick of it. I'm like, okay, I think I got my fix. Excuse me, I'm burping. I don't have to play for a couple days now. I wouldn't mind taking a break from R.E.P.O, playing something else. But yeah, the game's really fun. And we're hearing us repeat from the last 3 weeks of I played R.E.P.O. But I warned you, we have an important question. I need to know which of my friends you hated the most. Because I'll say one of them reached out and said, like, I hope no one hated me. I'm like, no, I'm sure it was fine. So I got to know if the other ones you hated.
I hated no one.
That's not the answer you can give.
But everyone was so nice to me. How can I hate anyone?
Oh, you got to pick.
Oh, man. I'm picking CGDannyB.
That's kind of wild. That's crazy. Fucking 4 minutes ago. I hope I get to come back. Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. That's a fair answer. It's a valid answer. Totally
listen. The only reason why that's the answer is because you're the one who's asking me this question.
That's valid. That's valid. No, that works. Yeah. I put you in the spot. That's good. But yeah, no, like LB's played with a bunch of other friends, and they are a lot more in the like, let's figure out the technical stuff. Oh God, the blind man. And like, how do we work with this? And then this group, XLB, is usually like, oh, I wonder what we could do to like fuck around and find out. So like having her come in and be like, guys, do this, pick this up, and she also uses game to bully me, which I'm not complaining about. But like, I think the one night we played, she just like looks at me, she's like, get small. I'm like, okay. And then just immediately throws me in the toilet. I'm like, this is what I'm here for. This part for video watchers, Tofr, I gotta tell you, man, I was ready to start cackling because me and Connor are playing Ring Around the Rosie with the blind man, and I think you were behind me, and you're like, I think he's gone, and then just get shotgunned in this dome, and I'm like, Tofr, no.
The thing is that's like before we started the stream, I played with Daphne and a friend of hers.
Okay,
and it was that friend's first time playing.
Okay,
So we entered this room, and the blind man comes in, and this friend just keeps talking, and I'm like, shut up, and then I get shot.
It's happened to me enough where I have to find out if it's my own fault or someone else's. Most of the time I assume it's someone else's. But like the blind man will show up and someone's like, ha, I found a duck. And I'm just like, shh. But like I think I shush before, like after, I don't know, it might be my fault, but like someone talks and then the guy goes, huh! I just pulls and shoots, and I'm like, they hit me instead because I was in front of you, you motherfucker, shut your goddamn mouth.
No.
Like it's the fuck. And then like right there, Connor gonna walk out the door and get shot, and then here I said nothing, and it's funny, I clip it so I don't get it. Right after this guy shoots at Connor, misses, and then just guns me down in the corner, doesn't even look at me, just says, let me get Danny. I'm like, fuck, I should have clipped that. But like,
listen, at least you didn't drive a cart straight into an abyss.
I have it. I have the clip. I gotta have
You have the clip?
No. It's gotta be. I have to, man. I have to have the clip, right?
I want to see this from your point of view, actually.
Is it here?
The thing is, when I was walking behind the cart, it was, you had to go up like a couple of stairs.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't see anything. Show us.
I'm hoping to find it. I know I'm dead, so I'm like, I gotta find footage where I'm dead, but I'm alive in all these. Is this one? No, it's like, come on, I gotta have it, right? I don't have it. No, I don't have it. That's impossible.
Oh no, that's impossible.
I didn't get any footage of me dead. Damn it. It might be a TikTok. We'll see.
Okay.
I think OBS might just be hiding my fucking clips here. I feel like I keep clipping shit that doesn't show up. I don't know what's up. You probably deleted it. I especially like, wouldn't see it.
The funny thing as well, after I drove that cart into the abyss, me and LB were like the only ones left.
Yeah.
And she was like, let's just blow ourselves up with this grenade. I'm like, fine. And the grenade goes off, and she survives.
She did. She had the held up grenade, so she's like, ah, and then laid there on the floor like she died. And then like 30 seconds, like, oh, I'm still alive. And then like immediately she's like, I guess I'll just either jump off the cliff or whatever. But like LB consistently was like the last one standing. It's just like, I guess I'll power through. And then she's dodging the clown lasers and whatever else. I'm like,
that was insane, right?
Pro gamer, dude. I tell you.
Yeah.
Ah, man. But yeah, R.E.P.O's a blast. I'm having a good time with it. I definitely think I want to pace it now this week. I'm like, I played enough R.E.P.O. Let me not get sick of it yet. But
yeah, I get that.
I have to imagine they have some content updates in the future that might be like, let's hop in and play some more. But yeah, R.E.P.O's fun. R.E.P.O's great.
It really is. It really is. I'm also glad that we didn't run into any Rugrats, because Rugrats suck.
I think that was after you got off. Yeah, I think the one Rugrat was just like, I want to play. I'm like, fuck off. Leave me alone. I hate those things so much, dude. I blame myself for not taking enough strength upgrades. I need to start doing that. But also, LB likes the muscle mommy bit. So she wants to like be the strong one that picks everything up. So I'm like, oh, we have one health upgrade or one strength upgrade. That's LB's. So I'm like, I need her to beat shit up. She got to defend me.
Yeah.
Which I have to, she sent me a TikTok last night and was like, I don't know how we do this. And it was like I got no roof for my home, that's never go. I don't know the lyrics, but it's like everybody's role in like the R.E.P.O team. And they're like the fodder, the monster hunter, and the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, let me cook. I have to figure this out. So I have to find footage. So it's you, me, LB, Nerdstorm, Connor, Kanai, Chris, and finding these like 7 roles. Okay, who would this guy would be this? I guess I have to do Phantom too. She would be our newbie. I'm like, so this person, but what would they? Okay, so their title would be this. And I have to figure out this. So like, I want to make that TikTok. I think it'll be really fun. I just have to find the like, what does everyone do? And mine might be just like the streamer that's always dead. And like,
I mostly died, so I don't know if that's
true. I'll give you that one. the spectator.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a great ass fucking time. But yeah, that's what we've been playing this week, which means it's time to hop into the games releasing this week. We're looking at April 3rd through April 9th. I'm going to include an extra April 1st because of a shadow drop today, which would be Haste Broken Worlds, which dropped today on Steam, April 1st. I've talked about it on our Steam Next Fest episode, made it a TikTok. Really cool, like speed running, awesome looking game. Please check that one out. It's super dope. It's in my cart. I might not get to play it tonight, but I would like to play it here soon because that game's really fun and I want to dive into it. But yeah, then with the actual dates, the 3rd through the 9th, we have Three Skies Ascension coming out on April 3rd for PC. We have Dice and Goblins on April 4th for PC. We have another round on April 4th for PC. We have Vaporwave Pinball on April 4th for PC. Busy day. A really exciting one is this game Trying to Kill Me on April 4th, coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. One of my favorite puzzle games from last year, escape room type thing. Loved it on PC. Would love to go back and try and get a platinum on PlayStation. We have Inspector Schmidt, the Ebbing, on April 7th for PC. Another exciting one, Peppered, an existential platformer coming out on April 7th for PC. Layla on April 7th for PC. Locomoto on April 8th for PC. Tiny Garden on April 8th for PC. And then Asgard's Fall Viking Survivors on April 9th for PC in early access. Any bangers in there you're looking forward to?
I am really looking forward to Locomoto.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. Where you drive your own train and you have to like customize it and stuff and like get people to where they want to go and move packages. And I played the demo for that one during the last Next Fest, and that was such a wholesome time. I want more.
That one looks really cute. I liked hearing you talk about that one. Again, I'm like, oh, the Spiritfarer on a train, like that whole idea. Cool. I love it. But yeah, that one looks great. I'm personally really excited for Peppered. I feel like that's one we've seen for so long. And then like every time I'm like, Peppered, which one was Peppered? I look, oh, the rabbit thing. Yeah. Which is like this, it's not a roguelike, but it's like a 2D platformer where like every decision, a lot of games, every decision matters. But like when you make a choice, it will affect like what could the ending be because XYZ. So I don't know how like Slay the Princess it gets in that respect. I've only seen trailers, so I don't know how it gets as you play. But that one sounds really cool to me. So I definitely want to check out Peppered, an existential platformer for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool,
man.
cool.
Yeah, cool, dude. Cool. Then with that, we can hop onto our indie spotlight, where we talk about some spotlight indie games that can use the spotlight because they're underrated or just, upcoming ones we want to highlight. And because we mentioned it so many times this episode, I might as well just bring up my favorite friend, little Tinykins again. I am a sucker for Tinykins. I've mentioned I love the like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, small guy in big world mechanic. With Pikmin 3, I became a big fan of Pikmin, like the formula, the leader that leads a bunch of little dudes who pick up stuff and break stuff and whatever. So when we saw Tinykin, I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. This is great. Beautiful visual style. It's like a 3D world with 2D characters. I hesitate to say Paper Mario because it's not really that, but similar enough. I think you could like understand like the vision if you're like listening to the audio version. And I enjoy finding the new Tinykin every time. I'm like, oh, what's this one gonna do? Like this one's strong. This one burns stuff. This one electrocutes stuff so I can charge things. Exploring the whole house from the living room to the attic to the bathroom and seeing like what can we mess with as I'm looking like in every nook and cranny for like the currency. I've platinumed this game twice on PS4 and PS5.
Oh wow!
I really like Tinykin. The game, not a spoiler, but it does one of those like post credits of like, oh, are they going to be back? Are we getting another Tinykin? I know the team is working on another.
Elijah Wood.
Please, coming to Netflix. I know the team is working on something new at the moment. I cannot think of what the name is. I know I've seen it on social media, but I forget if the game actually has a title yet. But it looked more of like a squirrel coffee shop simulator for their next game. So it looks really cute. Wow. Yeah, but I'm hoping that Tinykin 2 is in the cards here because I would love to explore this world again. And a big reason I want to call it out now is because there's a tiny build sale for the publisher of Tinykin, and the game's $5 on Steam right now. $4.99. It's usually $25. So like that's until the 8th, yeah, it's a great deal. Even if you're seeing this on the day the episode comes out, you have till Tuesday next week to pick this one up. So please play some Tinykin. I should play it on PC because I can't leave my overwhelmingly positive review. I'd have to buy it again. $5, maybe. Although I'd be like 0 hours. I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah. Go play Tinykin. But yeah, huge fan of Tinykin. Please play it. And with that, Tofr, that's a wrap on our 1-year anniversary episode. How's it feel?
Damn. Feels good. I'm ready for season 2.
There we go, baby. Run it back, dude. A second year of craziness. Man. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, please do me a favor, leave a thumbs up on the video. Let us comment what you thought about the podcast for this first year and what you'd like to see in the next year. If you're on audio services, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, whatever, be sure to leave that 5-star review. It really helps the show grow and more people find it. And if you're at least on Spotify, you should have a comment section now. So, if you got thoughts, leave them over there as well. Yeah, it's a good time.
Nice.
Also, if you happen to, not last week, but the week before, I tried a video and an audio episode. I don't know. I didn't check to see how it did on, like, if it makes the video and audio format on everything else. But I put it up twice. So if you saw the same episode twice, sorry, but I gotta see what that did. I just want to see if the video episode was worth doing on Spotify or not. So
yeah.
But Tofr, if there's anything you wanted to plug or tell the peoples where they can find you as we wrap up the episode.
They can find me through my link tree, which is Play Nice Kids in one word, and my full review for Koira and another game that's also just released will be online by the time this episode goes up on so many games.co.
There we go. Link in the description, baby. We got it. It's in there. The link tree. And then, of course, if you guys want to hang around, you can catch us at CGDannyB on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, whole 9 yards. There's a Twitter, but I'll be honest, we're not on there really. We like Blue Sky better. It's a nicer website.
Yeah.
But the account still exists, I guess. So, and then, of course, like I said, Fallout 313. I'm really enjoying being part of some TTRPG streams lately. Having a blast playing my Super Mutant on LB's on campaign. So if you want to catch us Sunday nights, we're doing that on Hack Recklessly on Twitch. And then there'll be another TTRPG sometime this summer. What will it be? Can't tell you yet. Not until the DM says it can. So, you know, is it another video game verse? Sure is. Can I say which one it is? Already said I can't. So we'll see.
It's Shovel Knight.
Dog, I'd be so fucking gassed. Can you imagine? We get some. Okay, listen, DMs. Hold on. This might be for nerd immersion because I know. Hold on. Now you got me started. So, nerd immersion. LB is on that stream. I talk about LB a lot. Sorry, everybody. She's on a stream on the Nerd Immersion channel on Wednesday nights, where if they have channel points, whatever, they can redeem them and like. The party gets an NPC, and they currently have Shovel Knight as a member of their party. They got another one, and they're like, I don't know which character to make it. And they're like, I don't know if I make it Shield Knight because Shovel Knight's whole thing is saving Shield Knight. I'm like, not after Shovel Knight. They're friends. Make it Shield Knight. And I was like, or make it Plague Knight or Spectre Knight because they're the coolest one, whatever. So I have to imagine Nerd Immersion has some grasp of Shovel Knight or is a fan to some degree, right? To include Shovel Knight. I may be totally off base. I don't know Nerd Immersion that well. Maybe I'll meet him at PAX Unplugged this year. That being said, if there was a campaign where we got to play as the members of the Order of No Quarter in like D&D, where I could be like, I feel like I'd want to be Tinker Knight because that's funny, but the edgy part of me wants to be Spectre Knight, but also Polar Knight's like the cool, calm-headed one who's just like, I'm big and muscly, but like, I think I'd be really cool. So like, if any of the TTRPG friends out there that I have made or have not made yet and would like to have be included on a Shovel Knight TTRPG series, DM somewhere. That'd be cool shit. And I mean direct message, not Dungeon Master in that case. Direct message me about being my DM for the Shovel Knight campaign because I'd go ham. I'd give you my all. My whole Shovel-C in that one, dude.
Yeah.
There it is. Anyway. That was a tangent. Guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate and love you. We'll see you next year for the podcast. And toodles. Mwah.